Today we're going to talk about the most harmful foods that are destroying our health and our bodies. Number 1 is sausages and any processed meat in general. If you think that sausages contain meat, then you are wrong. There is probably no more than 10% meat. It is real meat, not soy, not a substitute. There is a huge amount of cheap fats, trans fats. Modern technology makes it possible to add flavorings that can simulate absolutely any flavor, and the meat that does end up in these sausages and frankfurters is a waste of meat products. And the delicate pink color of the sausage comes from the addition of sodium nitrate. But the worst ingredient found there is probably the liquid smoke used in smoked sausage, because how did smoked sausage used to be made? It was actually smoked. But how are smoked sausages made now? Nobody smokes anything on a real fire anymore. They add liquid smoke on an industrial scale. It's just a substance that imitates the taste of smoked meat. In the EU, liquid smoke is banned because it's a very strong carcinogen. It provokes cancer. Sweet sodas. Actually, a soda is a syrup. It's just liquid and is called lemonade. A liter of Coca-Cola contains as much as 25 spoonfuls of sugar and it doesn't remove thirst at all. It only makes it worse. And the amount of flavorings, colorings, and preservatives in sodas is very high. Also very harmful is the presence of phosphoric acid, which is in sodas. It has a very strong effect on your body's calcium metabolism, and if you consume a lot of soda, it will start to really take the calcium out of you. And this is especially bad for children and teenagers because their skeleton is just forming. The next item is chips. This can also include French fries and, in general, anything cooked in deep-fried oil. Each package of chips will contain both sodium glutamate and sodium phosphate and many other things that are not recommended for consumption. In addition, fried oil, this deep-fried, overcooked oil from a deep fryer, is a carcinogen. Yogurt. You say, what could be wrong with yogurt because it is live milk and sourdough? Yes, indeed, if you are dealing with live milk and sourdough, it is a healthy product unequivocally. It's just that, those yogurts that are sold in industrial scale supermarkets, are not really yogurts. That is, the recipes there are completely different. They are made on the basis of dried milk and artificially added thickeners and flavorings. If you look at the contents of supermarket yogurt, you will most likely see starch. What does starch do in yogurt? Starch is a universal thickener. Moving on to mayonnaise. Of course, if you take a traditional mayonnaise recipe, it's not bad at all, but in industrial production people went the other way and hopped there such that it is better even in the refrigerator not to keep it. There are flavor substitutes and dyes and trans fats. These trans fats are a very bad thing and it's literally the scourge of our age because it's a cheap source of fat, which kind of tastes good and people like it, but it is extremely toxic and very slowly eliminated from the body. All over the world, community organizations are already fighting these spenders and are pushing to at least label products that contain them, because it is very difficult to ban them at all. Crab sticks. If you think that crab sticks are made from crab, you are wrong. They use waste products from the fishing industry plus various fillers that form this very shape of a stick and easier flavorings and preservatives. Instead of crab sticks, you're better off eating real fish. Canned foods. Almost any canned food is a very unhealthy product. Any nutritionalist will tell you that the less canned food you have in your life, the better, especially when you buy a canned food can. Pay attention if there is sugar in it. The sugar in canned foods leads to connective tissue dysplasia. salt. In general, salt is called the white death for a reason. In principle, you can use salt, but if you consume more than 5 grams per day, it has a very negative effect on your health. Salt disrupts the balance of fluids in your body. Excess salt can also cause kidney failure and heart problems and blood pressure. Also, large amounts of salt is a carcinogen, and if you remember that our favorite chips are almost all very heavily fertilized with salt, it gets even sadder. Moving on, pseudo-healthy foods. Fruit juices. For example, someone may refuse even a fizz, saying that I drink healthy drinks and I'm drinking natural juice from a bag. In fact, it's hard as a healthy drink. It contains large amounts of sugar and flavorings. Brilliant apples. Sure, eating an apple is always nice, but the thing is, for that shine, apples are rubbed with paraffin, and it's almost impossible to wash the paraffin off with water, because paraffin is a hydrophobic substance and should not be eaten categorically. That is why, in principle, you can eat shiny apples, but it is necessary to peel them, and in general, it is better to remove the peel from any fruit, because pesticides are used there, the very substances that protect them from parasites. Pesticides tend to settle on the surface of the fruit. Spinach or any greens. The champion of nitrates are those plants that grow as close to ground level as possible. That is, our greens, and the champion among greens for nitrates is spinach. Spinach has nitrates exceed the norm by 50 times, and this is normal for spinach in general. You can only eat spinach after soaking it in water for at least 2 hours. Friends, please write in the comments, do you like to eat unhealthy foods or try not to eat them? And now I highly recommend you to watch my other video, where I talk about unhealthy and healthy dairy products. Thank you for your likes, comments, and subscriptions. At the bottom of the video, you will find a lot more useful information. All the best to you.